हरिओम तत्सत। जय श्री राम, जय झूलेलाल। आप साधु वासवानी को जो जानते होंगे इन पुणे, तो उसने सत्संग में पूछा अपने सत्संगी को, व्हाट इज द मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट सेंस यू हैव। तो आदमी लोग घबरा गए, क्या कौन सा सवाल पूछ रहा है। तो पीपल हु आर विजुअली इम्पेयर्ड दे से सेंस ऑफ साइट। जिसको कान की प्रॉब्लम थी तो बोला सेंस ऑफ हियरिंग, जिसको खाने की तमन्ना थी तो बोला सेंस ऑफ टेस्ट। ऐसे तो दादा बोले ना ना ना। तो एक आदमी ने बोला, सर आई नो द आंसर, इट इज कॉमन सेंस। तो नो, you are quite close. Common sense is very important. But what you need is a sense of humor. The most important thing in life is sense of humor. And then I have added a line to it. Life without humor is like living with a tumor. So the same guru traveled to London, New York, Los Angeles, Miami, Hong Kong, and came back. So the satsangis asked Dada, which city did you like the best? Did you like London? Did you like New York? Did you like Los Angeles? The Dada said, no, beta. I like the best city is simplicity. So with humor and simplicity, one should tie up one's life. But sometimes there are problems. दुविधा में वक़्त पे क्या करना चाहिए हमें. This is my experience. When I was having difficult times, मैंने ये पंथी लिखी जो किताब में है मेरे, एकता की गूंज. That was my first book in year 2000. तो उसमें ये पंथी आई, जब इंसान दर्द में हो या दुख में हो तो मैंने ये विजन देखा और ये मैं आपको बता रहा हूँ. इंद्रजीत का रथ, हनुमान का झंडा, करण के कवच, अर्जुन के बाण, कृष्ण जैसे सारथी, इन सबको मन में बसाकर करे फिर तू आरती. ये करके मैंने अपनी जीवन को आगे बढ़ाई है. So this is a sort of inspiration for all of you. Of course, all of you are great saints, but this is my humble contribution to inspiring all of you. तो अभी भाइयों और बहनों, before I share my views on Hinduism and Hindutva, etc., I would like to first express my gratitude to Anu Parshram and to Kritika Khatri for inviting me here and persuading me to come here and be with all of you. I am very happy to be here. I feel empowered to meet most of you. And my mind has opened up as to the problems of Hindus and Hinduism that is enveloping most of us. And at the same time, I would like to express my joy for having met Guruji on one-on-one basis day before yesterday. And I really enjoyed meeting him, and I feel blessed and privileged. The second thing is that I'm a Hindu Sindhi. So I would like to make a ardas for all of you in Sindhi language. That says, Tanje tijori rahe sada bharpur. Tanje tijori rahe sada bharpur. Tanje sarir mein kadi na dukh ya sur. Tanje atma mein sach kadai na kur. Tanje roje matha sai jin jo noor. So with this, I wish you all well, and I hope the Sindhi people can explain to the people who do not understand these words. Can you do that? Those who are interested, of course. So, now the problem is that from my perspective, living in Hong Kong and having traveled all over the world, and especially in Philippines and Indonesia and Thailand, Japan, Korea and America, we Hindus have aberrated views or very shallow views of Hinduism. We are not deeply rooted. We are mostly on the periphery of rituals and liturgies. I hope you understand that. We are ritualistic. Our knowledge is not rooted in philosophy. And the average Hindu lacking philosophy has not been able to construct a proper ideology. And if you do not have a good ideology, you cannot have a good sense of identity. So our sense of a Hindu identity is very weak all over the world. And this is a very important aspect, because without a sense of deep identity, we can be convinced, shaken, and converted by evangelical forces and people who are extremely smart, who have got a proper agenda. They can take out faults in Hinduism and shake us up. So, the problem is that we have to encourage our youth to be deeply rooted in our culture. This is of prime importance. If you ask a Sikh, what is your identity or what are your hallmarks? Immediately he'll say Kara, Klesh and Kirpan, etc. 5. If you ask a Muslim, he'll say yes, believe in Allah, Prophet, and charity and Hajj and things like that. 5 things he'll tell you right away. If you ask a Christian, he will tell you also the same thing, believe in love God, love your neighbor, love your enemies, and forgiveness and things like that. So they can answer these questions. पर अगर हम हिंदू के मैं पूछता हूँ किसे हांगकांग में या जिधर, तो बोलते हाँ हाँ मैं हिंदू हूँ. तो मैं अगर उनको पूछता हूँ भाई आपका चरित्र क्या, what are the hallmarks of your Hindu? How can you say you are a Hindu? Anybody can say I am a Hindu. What is your belief system? तो फिर they go blank. उनको बात करने की they don't have any idea. Nobody has taught them. And then that becomes a big problem. तो मैं एक हंसी की बात करता हूँ आज से, पर इतना सीरियसनेस भी अच्छा नहीं है. तो हमने हांगकांग में एक बंदे से जो अंग्रेजी सिंधी होते हैं ना बहुत, तो मैंने बोला उसको मजाक में, Are you a Hindu? So बोला, Of course I am a Hindu. I said, What makes you a Hindu? He says, Because every Monday I go to give lota to Lord Shiva and ring the ghanta, bell. I see. तो मन में मैंने बोला कि you on every Monday you ring the God's ghanta and the rest of the week you do family se tanta. This is the problem with us. We all think by going to temple we become pavitra. Of course not. ऐसे बोलते दिल में द्वेष चला देने उपदेश. There is one of my poems I've written. कंबल पे मैल, चादर पे मिट्टी, चला ईश्वर को लिखने चिट्ठी. अब अंतकरण में इतनी मैल हो तो कौन भगवान आपको आशीर्वाद देगा. तो पहले है मेरे ख्याल से दिल करे साफ तो ईश्वर करे माफ. नहीं तो कुछ भी आप करें कुछ नहीं होने वाला है. सो वी हैव टू फर्स्ट मेक आवर सेल्व्स पवित्र, स्ट्रांग and egoless at the same time. Not with ego. Many people have a lot of ego. Like, I am humble man. Well, why are you announcing your humility? If you are humble, you keep quiet. But I am such a humble man. So first is nimarta. That's the most important thing. So in order to address these shortcomings, मन में एक ईश्वर का ज्ञान हुआ, तो मैंने एक चिट्ठी, ये बुकलेट लिखी है. इट्स कॉल्ड हिंदुइज्म मेड इजी. जब मैं बैंकॉक गया तो उधर मैंने देखा टूरिस्ट गाइड थाई मेड इजी, तो यहाँ से मेरे को आइडिया आया भाई हिंदुइज्म मेड इजी लिखना चाहिए, जिसमें देयर आर 9 क्वेश्चंस FAQs which have been answered in a scientific logical manner. So why I have written this is because क्या है कि Hinduism as a whole does not have a shape, it is amorphous. Now how to give it a structure? We have to start somewhere. If you tell anybody Hinduism, say, oh, kya karu main, I am getting confused. So many gods and gurus. It's got more gods and gurus than China has got rice. What should I do? Where should I start? It's like going to a banquet party. You go to a buffet. What are you going to eat? How do you choose the best dish? How do you experiment with it? So there's a lot of confusion there in Hinduism. So I felt that we all have to provide a structured format. Once you make a structured format, you can enter into the domain of Hinduism with relative ease. Once you enter, then you can expand the awareness. You can go ahead and commence the vastness of Hindu. Hindu is such a vast religion that you cannot compare to any religion in the world. It's one of the finest, the most transparent, the most colorful. But we have to lure the people by giving a structured format, which many people have not been able to do. That's why ये जो booklet है gives you a structured format, and it gives you your identity. By what are the hallmarks of a Hindu, true Hindu? जैसे पहले है जो सनातन धर्म के हमारी 4 goals, Dharma and earth and Kam and moksha. That is the first fundamental thing. After that there is reincarnation and karma theory and Gita and all those and symbols. So I've explained that very properly. And I've also argued the case that we are not idol worshippers. We are symbolic. We are not, what they call polyethnic religion. We are pluralistic religion. That means we all know that Brahman, God is one. But the ways to God are many. And that makes our religion a very phenomenal religion. So we have to create that pride. So once we understand our roots, once we get an identity, we can be proud. And then we cannot be shaken. So, and this is a book that can be used to explore the expansive dimension of Hinduism and also serve as a model for Ghar Wapsi. Because in Ulhasnagar and all, many of our brethren have become, non-Hindus. I wouldn't like to say which religion. But we have to tell them that religion is Hinduism, not confusing. But this is the way, these are the answers. We are giving you this scientifically. Now it's up to you. So we have to try, and I request that if this booklet can be translated in Hindi, Maharashtrian or whatever, you can do it. And if you want to improve it, do it. There's no monopoly on this or mine. This is available on Amazon also free of charge. So this is my contribution to Hindu society and Hinduism. Then I also contribute, I have a program called Sanskar, Sanatan Dharma Sanskar. So we invite noble souls and we provide scientific knowledge to perpetuate proper Hindu Sanatan Dharma values. By giving them these values, by talking about it, we are able to instill a sense of patriotism in that. This is very important because if you do not become a Hindu patriot, you cannot do anything. So my program is open and we conduct this program every alternate Monday, and I've been very happy to meet some divine souls in the research department, and I've asked them to come on my show and we will discuss all the research that this organization is doing. We will expose it to the international community. And this will be the greatest because we have an exposure of 19,000 viewers at one time. And that is a very tremendous effort. And we are growing every day, more and more. So I'll be very happy to have a long-term association with your organization, and we'll see that whatever we are thinking here, whatever we plan to do here is made open and public to the people in the world. So I'm in connection with people all over the world, so we can spread faster than what we could do just sitting over here, right? So I'm offering my services as a conduit to this noble cause. So bottom line is, unless and until we commence our inward journey, the inner pilgrimage to reach our eternal essence by contemplation, introspection, and meditation, that is our sadhana. If you don't do our sadhana, and if you are not able to enter your inner being, you cannot flower into spirituality. And if you cannot flower into spirituality, and if you do not diligently perform or practice dharmic values on a daily basis, you can never be a symbol of Hinduism. And if you cannot be a living symbol of Hinduism, you can never convince or influence some other person or a secular Hindu who's still sleeping in it. We have to, अगर जागरण करना है हिंदू को जो बच्चे हैं, तो we have to give them scientific knowledge and create such an atmosphere that they grow in these values. Once you enter the inner being, everything falls into place. Like we say, if you go towards your center, the periphery will take care of itself. आप अंदर आत्मा के अंदर जाइए तो बाहर का काम अपने आप ठीक हो जाएगा. So this is my feeling of and my personal philosophy. Now in ending, I would like to conclude that I came to know that Goa is a territory of Lord Parashuram. So I would like to leave with you several other P's for your consideration and for your contemplation. So first is, you can make a note of it because it's very important. I feel so. The first is preserve. Preserve and propagate. That is. So what do we preserve? We should preserve हमारा जो संस्कृति है. We should preserve that. Now, what I saw, I'm going to, मेरे दिल में जो मैं मन में है, correct me if I'm wrong in my observation. Whenever I go to a temple, I see दान पेटी. दान पेटी है पर ज्ञान पेटी नहीं है. वो प्रीस्ट आगे बैठ भगवान के सामने दान पेटी रखते हैं. I get a feeling, why should God ask me money? Okay, God says that I live in the poor. I am with the poor people. My heart's in the poor people. So I should serve the poor people. So right in front of it, if a temple is kept, दान पेटी is there, ज्ञान पेटी है ही नहीं. Why should people go? So we have to understand that and change the dimension of our temples also. If you don't go to learn in the temple, then what are we going to do? You think that going to do by agarbatti and ring the bell, things are going to become okay or what? No, you need jnana, you need karuna, you need compassion. Kabir Sahib says that without karuna you can't do nothing. तो जब तक मन का मंदिर नहीं खुला है तो कुछ नहीं होने वाला है. पर whenever I go to a temple, I think we must try to improve, update the quality of the temple and create atmosphere of educational or spiritualness. Otherwise, we are going to lose the battle. The other important preservation is that Gurukul must be brought. I feel strongly that Gurukuls, we must teach people Eastern culture as well as Western culture so that they know both. Universal culture. So that when they grow up, they become fine individual, fine gentlemen of, sophistication. So this is my feeling. So preserve and propagate. Propagate means to promote whatever. The second is prevent and protect. So what we are doing already, we are trying to prevent all the atrocities, all the गलत जो हो रहे हैं सारे दुनिया में हिंदू के अगेंस्ट, तो we have to learn to prevent it. But at the same time, we need to protect our Hindus also. If you are not able to protect, nobody is going to open his mouth. So you have to prevent and create an atmosphere of protection also. Because otherwise we become fearful. If you want to become fearless, then you have to have an agency, a Hindu Rashtra, whatever you call it. We must have a proper support system. Everywhere I go, the Muslims and other people have a good support system. One problem, everybody will be there. Hindu bolega to khali tali bajayega. Nobody comes to the rescue. So, prevent and protect. For what? To practice in peace. What we want Hindus, don't come in our way. We want to practice our sadhana in peace. We are peaceful people. So, we have to practice in peace. And for that we need protection and prevention. For the purpose of what? For to achieve piety and prosperity. Once you become religious, spiritual, that's piety. And when you become prosperous, spiritual as well as material prosperity is needed. So peace. So you got 6 P's of Lord Parashuram. So with this, I will leave you with my slogan, which I say, Jio or Jeene Do. That is my slogan. So we have to find all ways to work on the periphery and center of the peace that I've left behind. And with this, I will leave you with these thoughts, with my love and my Vishardhara and my good wishes. Jai Sri Ram. Jai Sri Ram.
जय तू हिंदू राष्ट्रम जय तू हिंदू राष्ट्रम